Death is inescapable, even in the world of Pokemon. What happens when we die? Does a spirit linger and take shape? If it does, it may explain this mysterious type, the Ghost type. Hey guys, it's Andy. I'm here for day 3 of the 12 days of Pokemon types. I'm joined by the legendary Pockety.
It's Pockety.
And we're of course going to be going over the Ghost type today. Why don't you go first this time? Say what your favorite Ghost type Pokemon is.
Alright, well this one was pretty tough for me, but I chose Blacephalon. Pretty new mon, I understand, so I haven't had a ton of time to love it, but Season 2 of the UTA was defeated by me with this guy. Back in the era of Black and White, I loved Chandelure, loved its typing. I was just like, man, if this thing were just a little faster or a little stronger. And then they're just like, okay, Ty, here you go. Have Blacephalon. And then they give it Beast Boost to just make it even more faster or more stronger. And yeah, I just love it. No one uses normal types, so good luck coming into Shadow Ball. And if you can resist that, then you're probably going to just be lit on fire, and that's not good for anyone either. So yeah, what do you think of Blacephalon?
Oh, I agree. It's like a Chandelure on steroids. It's good. It's frail, but just so offensively potent. I like it too. I had success with it too in one of my draft leagues, like at the same time you did, so that was kind of epic. But yeah, Blacephalon definitely, it's my favorite Ultra Beast. I like it.
I agree with that. So then, if that is my favorite, who is your favorite of the Ghost types?
Speaking of budget Chandelure is actually mine. I didn't even really think about Blacephalon when thinking about a favorite Ghost type. Chandelure just, it came to me more because I think I'm more accustomed to it. I do like Chandelure more than Blacephalon now that you mentioned that. It's bulkier than Blacephalon. It's not as potent as we mentioned, but what it does offer, I've used Chandelure competitively multiple times. It's done well for me. Same with Blacephalon, but Chandelure just has that. It just feels more like a mon that I would like. I don't even know how to explain this. Now that you mentioned Blacephalon, I feel like I need to justify having Chandelure over it, but I don't know how to describe that right now. What do you feel about Chandelure?
I mean, I always like Chandelure. It's actually in my honorable mentions, and it's I love that you give it a choice scarf or a choice specs, and it can just be wild, and then flash fire or infiltrator, right?
Yeah.
But always flash fire. But yeah, Chandelure, and it has a really cool design and a really cool shiny. So no, I totally agree with Chandelure giving you a hard time in your decision. But yeah, I definitely like it. So you picked Chandelure. Obviously, you mentioned you like Blacephalon. So who else did you have for honorable mentions?
I didn't even consider Chandelure when I wrote this, so it wasn't in my honorable mentions, but include this as an honorable mention for Blacephalon. For my actual honorable mentions, we got Mismagius and Delmise, also / Decidueye / Trevenant / Gourgeist. I don't know what it is about Grass Ghost. It's just that type that has that almost favorite status, but I just can't quite commit to it, and I don't know why. But like all the Grass Ghost types I love, like almost equally actually. They're just all very cool design wise, at least decent competitively as well. So they're all like that level for me. As far as Mismagius, I just always liked its stat distribution, just decent speed and special attack, access to Nasty Plot and stuff. None of them really compared to Chandelure for me, so that's why they're all honorable mentions. What about you? What's your honorable or what do you think about my honorable mentions? Then we can get into yours.
I mean, I like most of your honorable mentions. I have an objection to Gourgeist because I just don't like that it's essentially impossible for me to tell the different forms of it apart.
Oh,
I want them to be listed like in the name next to it, so that bothers me, and so I don't like that. But I like the ghost grass type, and Miss Magus is pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything great about it, but I don't dislike it greatly either. So yeah, my honorable mentions. So we already mentioned Chandelure. My other two honorable mentions, though, so Gengar probably would have been the number one if, well, Blacephalon didn't exist, but also, even if it didn't, I still don't think Gengar could be number one anymore because it doesn't levitate, and that just makes me mad that they got rid of that. It's like, why? It wasn't like it was the most broken thing ever. If there are things that are too broken that you need to fix, it's not Gengar levitating.
yeah.
It isn't. It's still crazy cool. It looks really cool. I remember my very first Pokemon toy I ever got was the 2-pack. I feel like they came with a coin or something, but it was a 2-pack that had Gengar that was not the right color and it had Meowth. And yeah, I remember that.
Huh?
Yeah, the Pokemon toys, the little like figures that were like 2 inches, and they came in like packs of 2, and it was Gengar and Meowth. And the Gengar was like kind of see-through, but it was like not the right, like, I forget if it was way too dark. It was like, although I think it was actually like Gengar was actually darker than it is like purple, but it was like black. Anyways, my other honorable mention is Jellicent. Again, my X and Y go-tos for competitive. And I just, it's so thick and just recovering up for days. I feel like there was a battle where you like, maybe I'm making this up, but I feel like we had a match where you just tried and tried. You could not get through Jellicent. It just was sitting there recovering for days. Maybe I think you were trying to like freeze it with freeze dry too. And I was like, nope, don't care, recover.
Yeah, I can confirm that happened.
And perhaps video evidence can confirm that as well.
If I can find the video, yeah. I never really liked Jellicent. I never disliked it, but it's never been, among my favorites. Gengar, though, I can definitely understand. The levitate thing is definitely unfortunate. Like you said, that definitely wasn't needed. I don't really know why they did it. Like, now of all times, seems like incredibly random, but they did it, which is, big F's for Gengar. But yeah, Gengar's cool. I prefer Miss Magus, even though Gengar is better competitively. But yeah, that's how I feel about your honorable mentions.
So, what do you think about the ghost type overall?
Well, I think it's weird that when Gen 1 there was no ghost type attack, which is just weird by itself. But by Gen 2, when they finally introduced a ghost type attack, it was Shadow Ball and it was physical. And so I really don't know how to feel about that. But eventually, once Shadow Ball, the physical special split, Shadow Ball became special, everything just felt right. And now when I think of ghost type, I just think of strong Shadow Ballers. Physical ghost types are cool too, but I think firing off a Shadow Ball is the epitome of ghost type. That's just what I like about this mysterious, inexplainable ball of energy. Like the way you mentioned Earthquake and ground types, that's how I feel about ghost types and Shadow Ball.
Well, I think of the ghost types like they're just cool. I definitely think like special attacking Shadow Ball-y things, but I also think like they can also be just like fat and like I'm just gonna like haunt you until you die instead of like killing you directly. And so like Will-O-Wisp and like chilling in the shadows and stuff. I mean, most of those ones like the Sableye, Dusclops, Dusknoir, I like Dusknoir, but like they're not so much my jam. But with like the Cofagrigus, Jellicent, like I'm just gonna be fat and like you can try and attack me and maybe it'll be normal or fighting and it won't do anything at all, or maybe I'll just be so thick that you can't even do anything to me and I'll just like watch you burn and die because they're demented like that. So yeah, I mean that's what I have to say about the ghost type.
Yeah, very cool type.
Very cool indeed.
Not one of my favorite types, but very cool, very mysterious. So, I believe that'll conclude this episode of 12 Days of Pokemon Memories. Look forward to day 4, and yeah, thank you guys for watching this, and have a good day.
You're smart.